I have Amy here who is going to make her homemade bread in her bread machine.
Santa brought me.
Yes, she had told me that she wanted two things. A bread machine and a
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore electric skillet.
Beautiful electric skillet.
That's
yes.
it.
And I got them both.
She
I guess
got
I've
them
been a
both.
good girl.
And she made us some bread the night before we went to Gatlinburg. It was delicious. So I said, I want you to make it. And so many of my followers might have a bread machine. Now, I make bread, but I make it in the oven, and I've showed you how to do that. But this is so much easier, and it's delicious. So, you go ahead and show us.
I'm daughter Amy. Welcome to my kitchen. This recipe I found on TikTok, and it just looked like one of the easiest ones I found. And I'm telling you, I think I hit it out of the park with this one. It uses the King Arthur bread flour, which I know there are all different kinds of bread flour. And Mom even told me the first time I made it, I have bread flour, but I think this makes a difference. That's just my thinking. But you just dump everything in here. You start off with 1 cup of water. And so I'm just going to pour in a cup of water.
You have to put it in a certain order.
Yes, it has to be in this order. Cup of water, then a 1/3 cup of milk. So I'm just going to pour that right on top. Cup of water, a 1/3 cup of milk. Let me set this back here. And then 3 tablespoons of butter. And the recipe said it doesn't even have to be softened butter. So I'm just going to drop the 3 tablespoons in there. And this is the wet part, okay? Now, the recipe calls for 3 3/4 cup of the King Arthur bread flour. But the lady on TikTok said what you do is you use enough. You only pour half this in right now to cover up all the wet. So, I'm right-handed. I need to do it this way.
Okay.
I'm just going to, this is the messiest part just because there's a little splash at the beginning. But I'm going to let Mom come in once I get this in and let you see how you just put enough of this bread flour to cover up all the wet. Okay, Mom, see how I did that? It just looks like flour because you can't see any of the stuff, okay?
Yes.
Then you put in 3 tablespoons of sugar, just regular sugar. I'm going to dump that on. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. And when I went to Publix and bought the bread flour, they had this Fleischmann bread machine yeast. I figured I'm using a bread machine. This is probably what I need.
And it's only 1/2 of a teaspoon.
Only 1/2 of a teaspoon.
Wow.
You put it in there. Okay. Then you put the rest of the flour, and they said you have to bury the yeast. So the last time I made this, I just dumped the rest in. You can see right now, Mom, you can see the sugar, salt, and yeast right there.
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm just going to dump in the rest of this bread flour and cover it all up. I'm going to spread it out. And it just looks like a...
Is there a little stuck in your...
Yeah, there's a little in there. Okay.
What I like is you're not messing up a bunch of bowls. And
What I like is you're not kneading anything.
That's true.
You just close it, and here's how easy it is, okay? Now, I've still got to read my directions because I've only used this thing one time. Turn it on, and y'all, it's going. I have it set for a 2-pound loaf, and I picked the middle color of the outside, what do you call that?
Crust.
Middle crust, because I didn't want it too light and I didn't want it too dark. And it's going to cook for 3 hours. And your kitchen smells so good while this is going.
That's all you do.
That's it.
And all Amy's going to have to wash are
These little things right here.
That's amazing.
So when it's done, we will take it out and I'll show you. It dumps right out. You put we'll show you in a little bit when it comes out. But it's so easy. And in 3 hours, we're going to have fresh baked bread.
And you made a sandwich out of it.
I did. I made a sandwich. I love cheese toast on homemade bread. And let me tell you something else I found on TikTok that we're going to try next. We love Texas Roadhouse. We love their steaks, everything there. But their rolls, I can hurt myself eating them. There's a recipe. You can make their bread dough in the bread machine. It does everything. It needs it. You just take it out, cut it in square, just cut it, and you make their rolls. So we're gonna be doing that.
We'll be doing that. But see, one more thing, it's going. Oh my goodness.
So basically, I'm a baker now. I'm a baker.
You are a baker, but this, if you have a bread machine, and you know they're not that expensive. I didn't think I would use one enough to warrant me getting one, but I'll tell you, with all of us eating here, the bread is bought by the loaves. I mean, you know, like Amy's her son that works. Mason
He works outside, and so he takes 2 sandwiches a day. Mason takes a peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes for breakfast, I'll eat a peanut butter and jelly, or even a turkey sandwich for breakfast.
Well,
that's
I
a
eat
loaf
toast.
of bread. Yeah,
I know.
We
So-
go through the bread.
So I just wanted to show you, but we will be back.
Yes. The timer just went off. The house smells like bread. So, let me pull this up so I can open it and look.
Oh my goodness.
So, what you do now, I have to turn it. Then you just lift it up. All right, Mom, watch out because it's hot. And you let it sit on a cooling rack for about 10 minutes. Mom. Then after 10 minutes, we'll come back and I will dump it over and you'll be able to see it. Fresh bread.
Smells good.
Moment of truth. Let's see. I think I accidentally hit light instead of the second setting.
Oh, Amy.
I'm so proud of it.
Is that not beautiful?
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
It is gorgeous.
And then I got an electric knife. We will slice it. And we're having BLTs for supper tonight on our homemade bread.
Oh, great. It smells,
so
so good.
good.
All right. Hope you enjoyed it.